Now.
Mike. You're on now. You're on.
Okay, now you can hear me.
There you go.
So at Mount Grace, every day is Earth Day, right? Right. So I'm here today to let you know that land conservation strategies make a difference in our time of climate change. And this is important because we, the people, care about the land, water, and air. And we, the people, care about our brothers and sisters across town, across the country, and around the world. We have just one world, one planet, one fragile atmosphere. Now together, we stopped the NED. We gathered, we educated ourselves and everyone we could. We spoke up and we called our legislators. And some of us, like Julia Blythe, ran for office once we won. So do you remember Rachel Carson? Around the time I was born, she wrote Silent Spring and brought on the ban of DDT. Now eagles are back, and they remind us that the people can reverse the course of ignorance. In 1951, long before I was born, Rachel Carson wrote 4 pages on the topic of climate change in her book, The Sea Around Us. Action is what we need today. What do we need now? Action. The climate has already changed and will change even more. If you love land, you love physics. The word physics comes from a word in ancient Greek meaning knowledge of nature. Physics describes the mechanics of how our world works. As Professor Nate Fortune of Smith College recently said at a presentation sponsored by the North Quabbin Energy Committee, he said physics is something to understand, not to believe in. Understanding the basics of climate change is much easier than understanding the mechanics of your car or a bicycle. Climate change is a matter of CO2. That's not so hard. We get H2O. We definitely get O2, oxygen. So now back to conservation. Trees, and let's not forget the phytoplankton in the ocean, provide the O2 life needs. So conservation saves trees. But we're getting more strategic than that. Here are 5 ways that you can partner with Mount Grace and others to take strategic conservation action to limit and adapt to climate change and climate change impacts. Number 1, support conserving corridors of and large blocks of conservation land. And I want you to check out at our table the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service's Wildlife Adaptation Strategy. Conserving corridors is strategy number 1. Okay, number 2, check out another guide, Conserving Nature in a Changing Climate. In it is a 27-page case study on Mount Grace's exercise back in 2013 with our partners in the North Quabbin. Using data from the Nature Conservancy, we created a priority map of the most resilient lands to protect. Every single project that we do is measured for its resiliency potential. Number 3, something Mount Grace does and others do and you can do is to bring up climate change during walks and presentations on other topics. To build buy-in, we can't always lead with the gloomy climate change topic. For example, during wildlife tracking events, we talk about conservation corridors and climate change. And during our Senator Wetmore Memorial Fishing Hole dedication, we talked about how trout are dependent on cold water streams. Number 4, you're welcome to use the brochure that's also at the table that was created by our Massive AmeriCorps crew for town boards. It introduces climate change in lay terms and focuses on the local level. Number 5, resisting the NED was a land stewardship issue for Mount Grace. We should avoid fossil fuel infrastructure that both damages land and exacerbates harm to the air. Mount Grace hopes to become part of a community solar project, but remember that land stewardship actions like getting rid of invasive species and resizing culverts are things that we can all do to help make the landscape that we love more resilient. So please, gather, educate, speak up, call your legislator. Our actions do make a difference. Thank you.